2024, you know, as I said before in the last video, 2023 to 2027, I'm looking for three things to happen. I'm looking for a revolt of the people. I'm looking for a pre-tribulation rapture, and I'm looking for the rise of the Antichrist. Within those years, that's what I'm looking at. And in my opinion, I think that the revolt is going to be a revolt of all of the people around the world against oppression, which has been already started and is continuing, because they just won't leave it alone. And I think it's just going to get worse because of the the selection for the President of the United States coming up. I say selection because is it really an election? I mean, we saw what happened last time. Totally a bunch of fraud. So I think that in the next few years, these things are happening. The revolt and the rapture didn't happen in 2023, but I think that's more or less a problem with our calendars, because we have the Gregorian calendar, and we have the Julian calendar, and there's the Jewish calendar, but the original calendar technically is God's calendar, which is run by the sun, the moon, and the stars. It goes by astronomical stuff, right? So I think we're off by several months on these things. So I think that we're getting very close to the revolt. I can't see 2024 election, whatever you want to call it. I can't see things going by without either civil war or the Second American Revolution happening, either at or after the selection period. I don't know. I mean, it's just too volatile. So once the revolt happens, if it happens in the U.S., a lot of countries, people are just going to follow suit, because all of these quote-unquote governments, all these puppets to the New World Order and WEF, they are all trying to implement the tyranny that these quote-unquote elites are trying to push on people. It isn't over. It's not over. Everybody thinks that so many things are over, but it's not over. I mean, it had just begun, right? So it had just begun, not over. I didn't get the jab. I didn't get anything. I'm not gonna get anything. I'm not gonna obey tyranny. I'm not going to accept any kind of baloney handed down from some alphabet group, whether it's the WHO, New World Order, you know what? And there are millions of people like me that are just not going to accept any of that stuff. We're just not going to put up with it, and that's why the revolt has to happen. The Bible says that it happens, and I can see it in people that they're just totally done. So it's going to definitely happen. I think it's going to happen either this year or early next year. And so many biblical prophecies have come to pass that deal with this area of time. Okay? There isn't any refuting it. There's no looking the other way. There's no explaining it away. None of that. There isn't. There just isn't. And that's not because I'm a fanatic or anything. I mean, it's just there. It's just cut and dried. All the evidence is there. So the whole rise of the Antichrist. The Antichrist doesn't really become a super tyrant until the third, 3.5 years in. So, yeah. So all of that is going on, and I believe it's going to happen soon. And of course, I could be wrong. Anybody could be wrong, but that's just how I feel about it. The next thing I wanted to say is that if you, was it 2021, about 3 years ago now, I guess I think it was 2021. I saw that werewolf, guys. I saw it. There ain't no going back from that. I mean, I saw that thing. That thing, I saw it with my own two eyes. And since I talked about it the last time here on the channel, I have looked a little bit here and there online, and it just seems to be becoming more and more prevalent. People seeing werewolves. I mean, a lot of them are using this modern term, dog man. I don't know. I don't know if there is a man-made version of the werewolf, which is the dog man. Okay, if there's a man-made version, that is a genetic crossing somehow. Okay, that scientists have been doing in secret to make a dog man. Okay, there could be, but what I saw was a werewolf. I mean, it had a wolf's head. Okay, it ran on two legs. It was over 7 feet tall. It was between 350 and 500 pounds. It had a shaggy bunch of shaggy mane of hair, more or less, around its shoulders. It had a shaggy head. It had a snout. It had huge teeth. It had a really big head, much larger than a regular wolf or a dog. I mean, it was big. It was over 7 feet tall, and that was running in kind of a crouched height. If it would really stood up, it probably would have been 8.5 feet. I mean, maybe even 9. I mean, it was big. I saw it. I saw it around 50 feet in front of my truck, and I have a big truck. I saw it. It was there. Saw it in the headlights. Ran across the road right in front of me. I had to double take. Yeah. But I mean, I went all my life going all over the world and being in different places, woods and jungles and all kinds of crazy places where you would think that you would see, a creature like this at some point in all these years and years. And I never saw nothing like that. I always considered Bigfoot as plausible. I had always considered Bigfoot as plausible because it was a humanoid type creature, right? And people said that they had been seeing. I never saw a Bigfoot, but I always had considered it plausible. But I never considered a werewolf plausible. However, now that we are very near the end of the book, that is the Holy Bible, right? So, the book. Now that we are so near the end of things, man, I think the closer we get, that there is more and more evil in the world. I think the closer that we get the thinner, the thinner, the the thinner uh, the thinner the reality is between our visible world and the invisible world. You know, I think that there is that veil between those dimensions is thinner, and I think that we will see an increase in these types of creatures. I think so. And it even says in the Bible that, you know, during the tribulation period there will be creatures. There will be, you know, read it. Read Revelation. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's going to be demons visible to people. Anyway, and UFOs, you know, just comment shortly on UFOs, you know. I used to wonder about UFOs all the time. I used to just treat UFOs as an enigma, you know, that we don't really know who or what they are, or where they come from, all this stuff. And people always want to explain them away as coming from distant star systems and everything. But I've changed my opinion about it over the years, you know. And I think that they're demons. And people will say, well, why would demons need a UFO to travel around or come from another star system or anything like that? First of all, we don't know where these craft come from. Second of all, those craft could just be props, you know, to lend some kind of credence to their narrative, to try to seduce people, to deceive people, because that's what they want to do. They want to deceive people. So, yeah, I think that that quote unquote aliens are, I believe they're demonic, and I believe that that UFOs are props. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. And from the get-go in the Bible, you know, demons were interfering with mankind, teaching them things. You know, I mean, I think a lot of the technology that we have right now originated from demonic instruction of man. I believe that. I'm not saying that we would have all been stupid without that, but I think that they did interfere. They did interfere in many ways, and not necessarily good ways, you know. And but it doesn't matter, because it's all coming to an end soon, very soon. I'll get back at you with another video. I mean, we've tried to do some other outdoor stuff too, but some things I just got to talk about. I'll catch you later.